Oh, and we're good to go. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you guys already here. Oh my goodness. I'm a little bit under the weather, so if my voice is not the best at the moment, and hopefully I can keep talking for a while. The flu is going around, imagine that. But we are going to work on a game. So today, I'm going to be working on a game for the One Button Game Jam. And the One Button Game Jam is basically a jam where you have to make a game where the player can only use one button to play the game. So, I've been working on a text processor because I want to do a little bit of text. So you kind of play through the game. You'll have a little bit of a dialogue for as the game is talking to the player, and then I'm going to have it. Basically, the player will be able to make choose decisions, and then I'll have some scenes that pop up and little activities that happen. I'm not quite sure where I want it to go right now, and I don't have a ton of time. Yeah, perhaps so. I wish I did, but I just don't have any right now, and there's no way I'm going to the store. So I'll just be Lehem over here. Anyways, so I'll show you guys what I got so far. We'll wait for this project to compile really quick. And I kind of spent the last couple of hours just building with whatever this is. So I have a little text box, and then if I press the space bar, oops, I already broke it. I guess I should have tested it before before I started streaming. That's fine. Is that a usual thing? Let me see what's going on with the console. Oh, that's right. I need to set that to true, I think. And then let's see what happens. I was trying to make it so when you press play, seems good for novel telling games. Yeah, like a visual novel type of. Sorry, I need some water. Oh my goodness. So yeah, visual novels. I think that's kind of what I'm going to go for, like a very simple visual novel. Choose your own adventure type of game. Should be easy, and you should be able to play through it pretty well with just one button. I have been working on this. I think this is why it's not working currently, is because I was trying to make a variable that would count the amount of characters. Oh, there it goes. So, yeah, it kind of works. So what I need to do, and what I was trying to accomplish with this little boolean here, is nice effect. Yeah, thank you. So basically what I'm doing is I'm getting the string length, so that's going to be the entire string, my entire dialogue, and then I'm basically getting that value. And there's 54 characters in this current string. So it takes that, and I want to say whenever the text processor gets to 54, then I want to set my boolean to false again, or true. Yeah, setting it to false. That way the player can press the spacebar again. It'll set that string count to 0 again, and allow the and then allow the player to load up another set of dialogue. So right now you can see down here is where the actual magic is happening for making it kind of typewriter style thing. And on a timer, and it's just like a fifth of a second, then it's going to add 1 to this value, which is just setting the variable string animation. And so it'll just add 1 to that string. Then it's adding the substring, and you can see the end, which is also taking into account our string anim integer, and then it's going to count up that end, giving us the typewriter effect, basically. Yeah. It seems like you're leaving EPBG completely and staying with Armory. I'm doing Armory for game jams because I can export to web, and when you do game jams, people don't like downloading files for obvious reasons, like there's a lot of malware and stuff out there. So to get more votes on my game, I usually try to make it a web game so people just play it and then vote on it. It's kind of a cheat code to get more votes in game jams. And a little tip right there. Because I have tried to do game jams and then using an EXE, and then nobody plays it. Nobody even reviews it. So that's why I'm doing this. But yeah, I think that for UPBGE, I'm kind of moving away slowly. Like, I'm still working on some projects in it, but overall, I'm going to kind of slowly move away from UPBGE. And hey, while I'm here, I kind of wanted to show you guys. I've been posting a little bit on the Discord, but I just wanted to show you guys this really quick. This is my range engine game that I've been working on for probably about a week now, and I've got a few cool features. So that you can, the first thing is I got this little animation for like caustics of clouds, and you can see that the there's just like a noise texture that animates over the plane over time, which is really cool. And then my most proud thing that I have so far, we'll just start up a runtime here. Do you prefer Armory? If so, why? Let me think about it for a second, and I'll get back to that. But I do have an answer for you. I just wanted to show this off really quick before I forget about it. So I made my little AI, I made them a little bit smarter. And he's supposed to jump back when you attack, but right now he just does it all the time. So, like that, pretty much. And just a little bit of extra AI work on there, just for fun. The fact that it can export to almost all platforms, yeah, that's a reason right there. Let's close that. There we go. Okay, let's go back to that comment right there. Do you prefer Armory? If so, why? So, I like Armory just because it has more options. Like this other, like it said here, the fact that it can export to almost all platforms, which is a big plus for Armory. I mean, you can export to mobile, web, you can do desktop. I think, yeah, Mac and maybe Linux. I'm not sure if Linux is in there. But pretty much any platform you want to, you can export to. And there's also a lot more features as far as game development goes. Especially in these logic nodes, they're a lot more advanced than UPBGE has. But it also is a little bit harder to get used to. But yeah, that's kind of my reason. And the performance is just overall a little bit better. There's a lot more render features you can work with, a lot more render settings, so you can actually come over here and you can do your render path and you have all this stuff to work with and change. And then you can set it, you can change your render path settings if you want to. I just have it on desktop right now, and then I will switch it over to probably a mobile rendering path. That way it's a little bit lighter for web. Or I'll probably just take a lot of this stuff out of here just to make it more efficient for web development. Alrighty. It's a lot easier to develop for desktop though, so that's why I develop in the desktop rendering settings, just because it's easier to do. Okay, so right now I need to actually make it so this resets. So currently I have it, when I press the space bar, it's going to go into this branch right here, and then set the variable, my play text variable to true, and when that happens, it's going to start the text animation. So I need it to set it to false, so that way I can't just keep on hitting it. Or I guess I don't even know if it matters at this point. Maybe we'll do a test when I set this. So this is kind of my main string, and what I need to do is make it so I can have either a case or I need a statement that, oh. Anyways. If Range, Armory, and UPBE decide to make one official Blender game engine, I think it would be very powerful. I think so too. I think if they all got together and made their own engine and like collaborated, you could probably have something really cool, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Each engine has their own dedicated team. I think Armory is just the community. It's literally developed by the community. I don't even think there's a dedicated team for it. But yeah, That's kind of what you get when you have open source. It's just you get what you get. Let's see. I'm already getting distracted. I have a one-track mind, guys. Alrighty. So this is actually on update, so that's why it isn't working, because it's setting this Boolean every single frame and not allowing it to reset. So I actually probably need to make this a event, and then we'll do an on event. We'll do on int, and we'll just call this pause. If true, then pause. And basically what this is going to say is the string animation, once it's equal to the actual string count, so how many characters is in that string, then it's going to set that, it's going to set the Boolean to false. Because if I have it set to 0, but another thing that I wanted to do is actually set the characters themselves to the length of the string. So that way it's not ticking up forever. But I don't know if it matters. So we might not worry about it. For now, we got this little on event. And I think what I'm going to do... How do I want to trigger this? So once this is equal to this... Set it to false. Man, I'm already out of steam. Trying to stream when you're sick is just not a lucrative thing. Also, too much brain power. I've already lost the mojo. Okay, let's have it set. Let's change this up. And I think what I'm going to do is make a new property. So let's just grab a string. Oh, wait, I don't even need to. I got one. Oh, it's one of these. I think I can fill... I don't think I'll run out of space. So I think I can fill this whole text box up with just one string. So what I'm going to do... This can actually get brought down. So it's a little bit easier to get to. There we go. Oh, I love logic nodes. It's going to get so messy. Move that up. There we go. That's a little bit better. So I think what I'm going to do is change this string into a new variable, just a regular string. This little guy right here. And then let's just plug that into here, and this into the string length. And then I'm going to make this a variable. Now let's actually name this to words, I guess. I don't know. I'm not creative at the moment. This will be fine. I probably should have named it dialogue. We'll change it later. And then what I can do is if I come in here and say, this is a test. Hey, welcome to the stream. This is a test. And then we can just hit that right there. I do have a print node going somewhere. Where's that print node at? Here it is. I'm just going to delete that print node so it's not spamming. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. We are currently just working on a text processor. It's not too exciting, but it's kind of cool. And what I need to do is let's just add a new print node here, because I need to debug this. And then I will say, when I press the button, oh, there's a print node right here too. Let's just disconnect that for a second. Oh, we'll just use that. Why not? So I can take my length here, plug that into the print. So if I press play, thank you. It's going well. So this is a test. We got the text processor working. Now I need to just bring up my console. And did that actually... I need to make this a little bit bigger so I can see what's going on. Oh, it doesn't look like it printed. So let's see if I can... What's going on here? It's clear that you are talented. Oh, thank you. That you have a lot of knowledge such game engines. So why don't you work on a single big game instead of just being distracted with side projects all the time? Well, for a bit now, it's just my observation. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna take disrespect from it. It's not that big of a deal. Honestly, I feel like in order for me to uh, make a larger game, I would need a team. Me personally, I'm just not capable of making a full game by myself. I lose track of what I'm trying to do. And creatively, I just run out of ideas quickly. And then on top of that, having, life, I just don't end up going back to projects. So at some point, I do have this dream. Who knows if it'll ever come true or not? But I might try to get some people together and then try to make like a studio and then see if I can't develop something better then. I feel like that'd be a lot better for me. I also just need to talk to people. I'm terrible at doing stuff on my own. The ideas come when I can actually bounce them off of somebody. Okay. So let's see if I can get this print actually. Oh, wait a minute. What happened here? Oh, why is this not plugged in? So that might have been a mistake of mine. So let's actually plug this into here. I think it's fun making small projects. It doesn't interfere with one's daily plans. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Like making small projects. Obviously, someday I want to make a full game. But yeah, small projects are just fun. And this is more of a hobby of mine than anything. I have a similar problem. I understand your situation. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a pretty common issue. I don't think I'm completely alone in that. I just need to dedicate myself to something probably someday. And it is still not printing. The thing is, I think I just got the wrong variable. I don't know. We're not going to work. Oops, I did not want to delete that. Plus, I got so much stuff over here. What is it? I need to figure out. Man, I got to figure out so many things. Okay, so let's actually make it so we can change this variable. So we got our words, and obviously we have this as a test in here, which is working. So I think for now, let's just build let's get a setter for this. So we'll add a setter right there. And what I need to do is actually, set it. So let's add a gate. And this will allow us to activate that. And then we can probably just put a string in here. Just a regular one. And what this is going to allow us to do is say if this value and then if that, then we can play this specific string. Oh, you are not alone. Like I got like 50 unfinished projects, but I do admire your knowledge. Thank you. I hope I can continue to be helpful when it comes to developing. I don't know. I've been so stuck. I don't know what's been wrong with me lately. I like sit down and I'm writing something for a video, and then I just cannot get myself to complete it. Like in the past, I can usually sit down and I'll be there for like 6 hours and I'll be able to create something. But recently, I just have not been able to do that. It's kind of, I don't know. There's something wrong. I just don't know yet. Let's just type in, this is the start of the game. And I have a quest for you. There we go. So that'll be our first little bit of dialogue. Just a little test dialogue. Great. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I've been doing Blender for about 5 years, but I can count the amount of projects I have worked on for more than a day on one hand. Yeah, I have a couple. Like my longest projects are probably about a week long. Like I can usually sit down and get a ton done in a week, and then I just lose interest in the project. I even have projects where I get super far in just a day, and then I just kind of forget about it. Uh, I think also I get stuck on stuff. Like I'll get have a mechanic I want to add, but I don't figure out how to do it. And it frustrates me, and then I move on to something else. Or a stream. Like I have noticed that every time I do a stream, I'm starting something new every time I stream. I don't really just want to sit down and work on the same thing over and over. And then that takes over my time, and then I forget about my other projects. Like the Crystallis game. I should really be working on the Crystallis game. I've only sat down one time this week to work on it. And it's I feel like that out of all games, I should be finishing that. So perhaps sometime, maybe tomorrow, I'll sit down and try to work on it. Okay, so I need to actually affect this. So what I'll need to do, I actually need to make a new property. And I think, what do I actually have the script attached to? Is it this empty? Yes. I stick to one project for a month, but... oh, okay. I've also found that... yeah, I don't know. I just need to find the right person to work with. I haven't quite found a person that I can work with and then get stuff done. I'm also a little bit selfish when I make projects. Like I actually want to make something that I'm passionate about and not just build something for somebody where I'm not really involved in whatever the final project is going to be. So that's a little bit something I need to work on. Oh, so I'm just going to add in a new property here, which I'm just going to make an integer because I want this to basically say if 1, then this text, then 2, if 2, this text. So we have 0, and I'm just going to call this property dia for dialogue. And I'm not going to try to spell it because I don't think I'd be confident spelling that all right. Anyways, so we can actually get a get object property. And this way, this is kind of the same way as like the UPBGE game properties or object properties. So it's actually kind of nice. I can actually just plug this value into here. So I want if, how do I want to do that? Here's what I'll do. If this project, so it's always going to be the top socket is going to be whatever you want, and then you can equal that to just an integer. So whatever your main property is, and then it'll be if equal this integer value, then do this thing like this. And then what I can do is say we can actually grab a boolean and we can say, oh wait, maybe. So we'll probably have to do a gate here. A gate for a gate. Isn't that cool? So let's just copy this gate. And then I want to grab my boolean here. I'm going to add a getter. Then I can just add in a normal boolean. If I am in the right thing. And then if my play text is equal to true, and we'll just put this on our spacebar here. We'll just grab that. Something I'll also show you guys is how to make a input map at some point. Because one cool thing about Armory is you can do input maps. So you can basically make a new script and then set your input map. and then be able to use like a controller, a keyboard, and even in this case a touch screen, all within one script, and then be able to add the keybinds for those items. Then you can set it to an enum, which will basically just take all those input values and then tie them into a enum, which is just a word. So like down, if you have down as an enum, then that could be the S key, the down arrow, and down on a joystick. And then you can control them all with just one input, which is really cool. So if this is true, then we will get this property, which is just going to be our empty. In fact, I could probably just set this to nothing since we'll just select the empty anyways, just for the sake of it. We'll just copy that, put that in there. So we're going to be getting our value, our object property. And if our object property is equal to 0, then we're going to set it to this new script. Or actually, we'll set it to 1. So if it's actually equal to 1. That way we can have the old test script, and then this one will pop up once it's equal to 1. So if I press or leave it on 0, we'll just clean this and play the game. So this should just do our original text. This is a test. Cool. And then if I set this to 1, this should give us our new string, our new dialogue. Oh, and it didn't work. Oh, I have to press spacebar. That's right. That's fine. This is a test. If I press spacebar, there we go. Though we did see that it didn't start back from the beginning. It started halfway through because it was the text processor was already running, and then it just completed it from there. I've seen people using UPBG, or is it? Oh, UPBG, or is it Armory 3D? I can't really tell the difference. Saves the APK files on YouTube. Really, it's possible to make a game for APK using Blender, or is that all lies? So with Armory, you can make an APK. So if you're making for mobile or like Android, you can export to an APK, and then you can bring that APK into something like Android Studio, edit it in Android Studio, and then export it for Android. So there is a little bit of a process. You can't just go straight from Armory into mobile, but you can bring it into Android Studio and then export it as a proper APK. So for Armory, it's true, but for UPBGE, I think somebody was working on it for like 2.5, like the legacy UPBGE, but I have no idea what the status of that project is. So yeah, that's what I got to say about that. So currently, I also need to set my text processor back to 0 when I start this up. So what I need to do is come over here, and our string anim, we need to get a new setter for that. So let's just go this one right here, add a new setter. Now this is getting pretty crazy. Let's make a little bit of space here. I also need to move my back end. Well, that's the front end. This is the back end. So I need to actually set my processor back to 0. So if this is true, and the keyboard is pressed, let's put that on top of there. Then let's just grab an integer. And all I need to do is set this to 0. So that way it'll start over every time we get to a new set of dialogue. And we'll see if it works. So this is a test. If I press spacebar, it starts from the beginning and we get our little deal. I have a quest for you. So now all I need to do is every time I hit the spacebar, I'm going to add one to my whatever my text is, my text variable. UPBG is still. Oh man, Oh man, one second, I need to catch my breath. UPBG is still working on it. They're mentioned something called Vulkan, and that it is done to export to mobile as possible. Just because it's possible doesn't mean that it's actually going to be implemented, though. And I have heard about that, like in the 4.2.1 or whatever version they're on now. It is very experimental. Just getting it to run in the engine for desktop, it's experimental, and they're still developing that. So I'm not sure what the timeline for that would be. Vulkan. So Vulkan is basically just a render pipeline. So, oh, how do I explain this? So instead of having like an OpenGL render pipeline, it's using Vulkan, and Vulkan is used in, I think Godot uses Vulkan as well, or unless that's a plugin. I thought it did, but a lot of popular game engines use Vulkan. It's just a way to render graphics, but it is unstable at the moment for this engine. Okay. So for now, so we have this set up. I think I'm actually going to make this into... Ooh, how do I want to do that, though? I might have to make this all into a call node. What part can I stop, though? Because if I have a gate going into this keyboard... That's tough. I've kind of put myself into it because what I want to do is I actually want to make it so I can make little call nodes and then just type in my text and then the integer that it needs to activate. That way I can just copy and paste those and then just reuse them for each bit of dialogue instead of making like this huge spaghetti nonsense for logic. So I guess what I'll do, let's just grab this and make a group node out of it. There we go. So what I need to do now is this gate, which in fact, I'm actually going to do it now. Let's get a key map. And we'll do, is it on key? Get input key map. Nope, that's not it. Key. Exist. Nope, that's not it. What's it called? I know I used it. On key. Maybe if I actually go into input. Input key, get keyboard started, key, no. Bear with me for a second as I try to figure out what I did in my other project. Get gamepad started, input map key, get keyboard started. That's not it either. Wait, one second. Let me open up this other project so I can figure it out. I think I did it in my Crystallis project. Yeah, here it is. So set input map key, which is right, and then if I go to player movement, where did I have it set? I know I used it. Oh, I know. Houses. There we are. Then if I come in here, on input map, that's what it's called. I had to just figure out what that was called again. So I need a on input map. And I'm just going to plug this into, or the started into there. And the input I'm going to call is, we'll just call it button, since we're only going to be using one button. And I'll tie a bunch of keys to that button. Okay, so that's that taken care of. Now what I need to do is, so this is our property. We're going to grab this. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we'll just do it one at a time. So we got our number of our dialogue. We need to make a new one. String in. This is actually going to be our dialogue, which will trigger inside of here. This can stay the same since it's just going to be reusing this integer, setting it to 0. And then the output, I don't think matters for this. I think it's all self-contained. So I'm just going to click on this, go over to our node, properties, underscore int, and then actual dialogue. I don't know how to spell dialogue, it's fine. I will remember. Man, I cannot spell tonight. How is Wukong going? I recommended you play with keyboard and mouse. Yeah, I still have it. I streamed it one time. And I don't think anybody watched it. So maybe I'll just play it in my own time and do like recordings. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I've already died a ton. I'm terrible at the game because I don't play games like that often. But it's still fun for me. And I do plan on continuing it. It's also time consuming. It just takes a lot of time. Okay. So here's my little call node. And I need to remember to rename it so it doesn't give me an error. Let's see. And we'll just call this text advance. Here we go. So now I can actually just type my dialogue directly into the string here. And whatever this value is, this little number, I can say if it's equal to 1. And we'll just call this welcome to the game. In this game, you will be challenged to beat it. That's a good, that'll be fine. So now, if I press play, oh, I still need to also make my key map. So I'm just going to click on the camera. I'm going to add a new node, add some new nodes. I'll have to sleep because I am in Germany. It's, wow, 1:26 a.m. What are you doing awake? Well, it's good to, yeah, take care. I will see you in the next stream, probably. So currently, I need to make this, I need to actually make my input map. So we're going to do a new tree called input underscore map. I have to sleep too. What are you guys doing? It's so early. Alrighty, take care. It's good seeing you in the chat. Alrighty, I gotta power through this as well. What time is it? Oh, it's only 5 p.m. for me, so I already feel like it's so late. Oh, alrighty, we got this. So with our new input map, I need to edit this tree. And we'll add a set input map. And we'll do set input key. We're just going to do a on initialize. We'll just set this as soon as the game starts. And what I can do is we called it button. In fact, I copied it, so we'll do that. And the key that I want to use is my spacebar. I can't miss your streams. At least 2 minutes in. It's worth it by. Yeah, take care. Glad you stopped by. Hopefully I'll start maybe I'll start streaming a little bit earlier or a little bit later. I feel like if I stream later, then people will be just into their morning. Alrighty, so I got my keyboard. I can do a mouse input and a keyboard input, but this will work for now. So the button is space, and I think that's all there is to it for that. And I can put some other, we'll put some other inputs in later. But as of now, we should be able to press play and have it actually work. This is a test. Oh, and it's broken right now. What's going on? Let me make sure that I actually have this right. Let me make sure if I put W in here. W. Nope, still not working. Text. see what I'm missing here. So if started input button is equal to true, this should work, theoretically. So what am I doing wrong? That should be the right one. And it's activated, so that should be good. That dialog's equal to 1. So what am I missing here? Oh, shoot. I need to... Did I actually set that? Yeah. Yeah, that should work. We should be good to go. So why is it not working? I guess what we can do... Yeah, that's set to 1. Let's just put this on spacebar just to do a test, make sure that we didn't break something. There we go. Probably broke something, but it's fine. That do be how it is. Yeah, it is broken, huh? What do I need to connect? So if play text... I wonder if it's not going to work inside this call node. It'd be very unfortunate. You can also test that out by just doing this. And then copy these nodes. Oh, you know what? Let me look at my console. Are we getting... Nope, nothing's broken. Let's just put this back in here. And then theoretically we should just be able to disable it. I'll just set that to 2. And then we have a button right here. Let's see if it works now. Because it could just be a property thing since I'm using internal variables. Yep. Okay, so I understand what's going on, and I can get rid of this again. Set that back to 1. What I need to do is remove this. So I'm going to remove that and remove this. Then I'm going to plug these variables inside of here. So this one will go there, and this one will go here. Then I need to actually rename them so I remember. So the first one is going to be... Oops. Come on. They're both variables. What have I done? Okay, let's start with one and then move to the other. There we go. Oh, the pains of development. It's fine though. Okay, so this variable is going to be my set underscore dia. I'm just gonna do this. It's spelled wrong, but don't worry. It makes more sense to me. It'll work for now. set dialog, and then I'm going to set this variable, which is going to be called my set text length. There we go. Oh, no, set type. Set typing 0. So theoretically, now that we have those variables available, should be able to go back into my call group. Then I can add an integer here. Oh, wait, no, I need to add, where are you? Oh, this one. Grab this node. Yes. Man, I am all over the place right now. My brain is fried. Okay, and then I need to actually put this onto here. This is what it's going to be setting. Theoretically, when I press play, this should set our variables properly. This is a test, and it's still not working. All this complication. What is happening here? So this is just setting this to 0. And this is actually setting the text. Oh, that's right. I can't set the variable inside the call node for either of these. So that was a waste of time. What I can do is add it as add this input over here. And we'll just set this to, yeah, string out's going to be fine. There's almost no point in doing that. So I guess it's saving a little bit of logic here, but I'm still going to have to plug it into some variables. And then if true, which will go here. There's almost no point in this. Such is life. Yeah, that'll be fine. So what I can do is just go to text. And then plug this. We have to get our setters. So going in, oh my goodness, where am I? There we go. So word string, let's just get a setter for this. And then the string is going to go right into that value. And then the true is going to go in there. Then I'm also going to grab my string here, or my integer. And we'll add a setter for that as well. And plug that into here. And then I need a proper integer. Just a static one. Well, I can't really say static, but just an integer value. And then that'll set to 0. So let's see if this works now. It should kind of consolidate some of it, which is the idea. There we go. So now we can consolidate all those nodes and not have them all strung out. And obviously, it'll just reset. Cool. So the question is, what can I do about these? I guess there's not really much I can do about it. These will have to get duplicated with this anyways. Yep, that's fine. Can I actually... Oh, I can. So I wonder if something I probably should do is when I press the button that whatever the player is going to be using, maybe I shouldn't be able to have it just reset the dialogue or just slam through it instantly. Maybe I should. Or maybe make the player wait until the dialogue finishes before they can press the button again. That might be something. So, I like how the content that I make, these streams must be the most boring thing ever. Oh, I just imagine so. But I guess this works. Let's do another set. Oh, yeah. So when I press the spacebar, or in this case, let's do a on input node here. So on our input map, we can replace... Ooh, it's a branch. Can I replace this? Let's not delete it for now. Let's just try this. And then it's going to just be button. And then we should... Oh, I can do an output to Boolean. And connect that in there, and then that into there. So let's see if that still works. Yay, that works. Oh, and player exited code. I think that's just a one-time deal, though. We should be okay still. Okay. So now, in theory, I should just be able to advance my dialogue integer. We'll delete that key. So let's just go... Oh, we just said... Yeah. Set object property. And then we'll just set this right here. Let's add in a math node. This is how I'm going to be adding to my property. If true, then we're going to do the result into the value. Select my empty. And then my property is just dia. Then what I can do is grab a regular... Oh, no, I need to grab my get object property. Plug the value into the top socket. Select my empty again. Do dia. So basically we're going to get the property and then add to that property. Get set. And we're going to add 1. So each time I press the spacebar, it's going to add 1 to this property. In turn, setting our text to the next set of dialogue. And then this is probably where I'll add either a timer or make it so it gets to the end of the string before the player can actually advance. But for now, let's just test this out. And I think what I'm going to do, instead of plugging this in all the time, so we can actually simplify this even more, let's add in a event node. So we're going to create an event called next. And each time it goes to next, it's just going to set this value back to 0. And in fact, we can bring this somewhere where it's going to be tucked away. Put that there. And then all I have to do is add a event, or yeah, we'll just do a event on event. Oh, no, I need a, what are you called? Send event to object. We'll just do a global event. send a global event. So when that happens, the event is, what did I call it? I've already forgotten. Next. So now we can separate it and not have to have it all stuck on. Less stuff to duplicate. Less logic nodes to have in the scene. So this is a test. Yep, and it works perfectly. Now all I have to do is duplicate this and crash the game. Oh, please tell me that's not a bug. That's just going to crash every time. All right, let's try that again. Okay, it didn't crash. Yep, it's a bug. And this is where I end up quitting my projects. Oh, please, why? What is your problem? I'm curious. Let's just make a new call group for it. Got to love the crash. Mine crashed when hitting the draw cube button. Yeah. I mean, it's just part of life. Crashing engines is just a part of life. I mean, what can you do about it? Oh, but it still doesn't hurt any less. And, oh, I did not want to have that selected. Just this. Oh, the pain. So I just need this plugged into here. Then this plugged into here. And then this plugged into here. What else did I have on the end of here? Oh, string out, that's right. Oh, this will be terrible if I have to keep remaking it by hand. Because I bet you it's going to crash once again. Well, we'll see what we can do. This is the second string for testing the game. I will not quit until it is done. I gotta give myself a little bit of a pep talk here. Oh, all I have to do is duplicate these nodes, plug that one in there, string into there. True is going to go into there as well. So there's my string in. We're going to say on to. Call this text advanced underscore 2. And theoretically, I think everything is set up right. So this should advance our text by 1 every time we hit the spacebar. So when we press play, let's see what happens. By golly, this is a test. Welcome to the game. In this game, you'll be challenged to beat it. This is the second string for the testing the game. I will not quit until it's done. Hey, there we go. So we have it. We have it advancing through the text. And I don't know if it crashed or maybe it just doesn't work anymore. Anyways, hey, that works. So let's see if I duplicate this again. I'm going to save just in case. Now, I'm going to, yep. So there must be a bug in Armory where you cannot set the call. I've run into this in the past too, and I don't know what's up with it. Obviously, the console isn't going to tell me. Such is life. And I really don't want to... Ideally, I would like to just have these text boxes where I can just type into here, duplicate it, and then type in a new string. But I may just have to do the old-fashioned way if this is going to be a problem. Just drop that there. This is the bulk of the text processor. And then this is a reset. And then I can just put all this into one. And then these are my text. So in theory, even though it is crashing, I do have the layout set up where I could totally do a visual scripting, or I could do a visual novel, I should say. So that's kind of the basic part of it. So obviously I can keep spamming the button. So I really want to make it so I have to either finish the dialogue or have it like just cancel the text, like the typewriter text, and then just automatically have it spit out. So I guess, let's see. So on event pause. Is this actually doing anything? I don't even remember what I was doing there. Where did I even put that? And for what purpose? Oh, okay. So if the text is equal to the length of this, I think it's supposed... Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm so lost. My brain is not working. So if this is greater than this, then set this to false. And theoretically, you shouldn't be able to hit the button over and over. So if this is equal to true, oh, set this to true. So when the button is pressed, it sets it to true. So what's the point of having it true? I gotta reread all this. What's going on? Oh, okay. So if it's equal to true, then it's going to start the timer and allow it to do its thing. So I think this is... Oh, this is supposed to allow it to pause the text. So once it gets to the end, it's supposed to pause it. But I don't know if that even works. So I could probably delete this, honestly. Or reuse it for something else. So what I'll do is if this is less than, let's just reuse it. So if the string anim, so as it's taking up and then adding each letter, if this is less than the total amount of letters in the string, and I'll probably change this to something else, like an on update, it'll be fine. We'll probably put a timer in there eventually, just so it's not using every single frame. It's a visual novel. It's not like it's going to be killing anybody's PC, because we're not running anything too terrible. But for now, let's do an on update. And I think what I'll do... How are we advancing? So when we press the button, let's go into edit tree. Maybe I'll add a new object property called skip or advance. And then... Oh, play text boolean. So if that's equal to true. But there's nothing setting that to true. So I'm probably going to have to... I think I need to actually put this into our call group as well. Because right now it's separate. So since the call group has its own variables, or what I need to do is set this, make an object property that's going to be able to affect all the call groups as well. But yeah. That way I can't skip the dialogue. I'm too tired. I think I'm gonna have to end this stream. We're only an hour into it, but I think I'm gonna call it here. Thank you all so much for watching. I am going to recover, and hopefully I'm not too sick tomorrow. And maybe I'll do a stream if I can. My voice is already dying, and I feel like I need to go to bed. So, anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the next. I will see you in the next stream, and hopefully not get sick. Have a good night. Take care.